Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
10 lines you need for introducing yourself in Hebrew. So let's start. Shmi Ya'ara. My name is Ya'ara. Okay, this one is the most basic. Shmi Ya'ara. My name is Ya'ara. Shmi means my name, and it's the same for men and women. You should know, though, this is a bit formal. The casual way of introducing yourself is saying, קוראים לי יערה, which literally means something like, I'm called יערה. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. You say this when you're talking to a male. Otherwise, it's שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. You can obviously change that. I'm from Italy would be אני מאיטליה. I'm from America will be אני מאמריקה. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. I said the female form. The male form would be אני גר בירושלים. This verb, אני גרה, גר, it doesn't mean to live, like to exist, but to live in a place. So, אני גרה בירושלים. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. For a male it would be אני לומד עברית כבר שנה. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. For a male, אני בן 27. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. Or for a male, אני מורה. You obviously don't have to say that if you're not a teacher. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. This sentence stays the same for male and for female speaker. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. For male speaker, אני נהנה להאזין למוזיקה. גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. This sentence stays the same for a male and for a female speaker. Obviously, if you grew up somewhere else, you can also say גדלתי בניו יורק. I grew up in New York. Or גדלתי בפריז. I grew up in Paris.
10 ways to say hello. Let's get started. Boker tov. Good morning. Boker tov. Good morning. Some people, if they're having like kind of a bad morning and they don't want to say good morning or boker tov, they would just say like boker, morning, obviously. Shalom. Hello. Shalom. Hello. Shalom also means peace in Hebrew. So it's almost kind of Rastafarian, you know, peace. הרבה זמן לא התראינו. Long time no see. הרבה זמן לא התראינו. Long time no see. I guess in Hebrew it's not quite as natural to say as it is in English. So if you really want to be super casual, you can also say something like why, shanim. It's like saying, whoa, ages, without even saying, it has been, just ages. איך הולך איתך? How have you been? איך הולך איתך? How have you been? This is more of a way to ask somebody like that you really haven't seen for a while, like, what has he been up to? And you say it, איך הולך איתך? Which is a very casual way of saying it. That's very useful. מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? How are you? שלומך also comes from the word shalom. So literally, it's kind of like asking, how is your peace? איך היום שלך? How is your day? איך היום שלך? How is your day? That's a nice thing to text somebody, like your boyfriend or girlfriend, in the middle of the day, just to see how they're doing. מה קורה? What's up? מה קורה? What's up? There are so many ways of saying it in Hebrew. The most common ones are this one, מה קורה, which is more like what's happening, and also מה נשמע, which is like what's up. ערב טוב, good evening. ערב טוב, good evening. So like English, I think ערב טוב is not something that you would use like with your friends or in any casual situation. It's more like when you're going to a restaurant or some sort of a service giver would say that, not like with friends. נעים להכיר אותך. It's nice to meet you. נעים להכיר אותך. Nice to meet you. As a matter of fact, a more common way of saying it is to just drop the last part, dropping the אותך or אותך, and simply say נעים להכיר. It's like saying in English, it's a pleasure. איך הכל? How's everything? איך הכל? How's everything? Also a very friendly way of asking, like, how's life? And if you want to ask how's life, you can ask איך החיים?
In this lesson, we learn some of the most common greetings used in Israel. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. The most used greeting is Shalom. Shalom. We also saw it in the first lesson. Shalom simply means hi or hello. It can also mean goodbye. We use it when we meet, but also can use it when we part. Shalom means something like peace, so it makes the greeting very special. It is common to say shalom in both informal and formal situations, and at any time of the day. In the morning, you can also greet people with Boker Tov. Boker Tov, which means good morning. Boker is morning, and Tov is good. During the evening, we also say Erev Tov. Erev Tov. Erev is Hebrew for evening, so Erev Tov means good evening. Boker Tov and Erev Tov are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. Another way to say goodbye in Hebrew is lehitraot. Le-hit-ra-ot. It is actually more common to use lehitraot than shalom when leaving. But most people in Israel just say bye. Bye! Now you can greet people in many different ways in Hebrew. Let's review them all again. When meeting people in formal and informal situations, shalom. In the morning until the afternoon we say boker tov, and in the evening erev tov. When living in any situation, lehitraot, or simply bye. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Yana's insights. In formal situations, Israeli people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on one cheek. Don't be afraid to do it with your Israeli friends. It's normal.
Want to get cheat sheets, audiobooks, lessons, apps, and much more every month for free? Just click the link in the description to get your free language gifts of the month.
In this lesson, you are going to learn how to introduce yourself in Hebrew. In Hebrew, there is no formal and informal language. You can use this introduction in both cases and keep it simple. However, in Hebrew, there is a difference between male and female language. Let's first see how Israeli people introduce themselves in a simple way. Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod. Hi, I'm Yana, it's a pleasure. Shalom, ani Yana, na'im meod. Start by saying Shalom, ani, then saying your name. Shalom, ani Yana. Finally say na'im meod. Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד. And now let's see the same sentence if you wish to be more specific in addressing the person you are introduced to. If you're introducing yourself to a woman, you should say, Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. If you are talking to a man, you should say, Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at this together. The last part of the introduction has been changed based on the gender of the person you are talking to. Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך for a woman versus Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך for a man. אני, in this case, has not been changed, and in both cases stands for I am, regardless of your gender. The last sounds of the last word changes, however. אותך, if you are talking to a woman, and אותך, if you are speaking to a man. One more time. The simple way to introduce yourself in Hebrew is Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד. In case you want to personalize the greeting, you say Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. Now it's time for Yana's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Israel. If you don't want to worry about using the right word for men and women, just say na'im me'od, as I said at the beginning of this lesson. There is no cultural importance if you add the last part to the introduction. It just makes the sentence more complete. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. תודה. תודה. תודה means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add רבה. תודה רבה. תודה רבה. רבה means a lot. So תודה רבה is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned two ways of addressing someone, depending on his or her gender. תודה or תודה רבה can be used with anyone. But in case you want to personalize the greeting, there is another phrase you should use. If you want to thank a woman, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Now, if you want to thank a man, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Let's break this phrase down. לך means something like to you when you're talking to a woman. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. לך is to you when you're talking to a man. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. How do you answer? It's easy. There are two ways to answer. The first one is simple. You're welcome. בבקשה. בבקשה. It's the simplest way to answer. But it is more polite to say אין בעד מה. אין בעד מה. Its literal meaning is it's nothing, and it is a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone is saying תודה or תודה רבה to you, we can simply reply with בבקשה or אין בעד מה. Now it's time for Yana's insights. If you are not sure about whether to use תודה רבה לך or תודה רבה לך, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. תודה can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and anytime.
About 10 responses to how are you? In Hebrew, of course. מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? How are you? So yeah, like this is the most common way to ask people in Hebrew how they are. You can also say like, hey, what's up? Or, you know, how's it going? But the most simple way is מה שלומך? ואתה? And you? So after you've been asked how are you and you've given your response, you would ask the other person, and you? ואתה? אני בסדר. I'm fine. אני בסדר. I'm fine. Yeah, just בסדר is literally just fine. It can be, fine, and it can be fine. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. So I think people usually would say that after maybe they had a bit of a rough time, I don't know, like maybe at work or something personal, and then when people ask them how they're doing, so they would say, oh, I'm not bad, like, it's getting better. גם שלומי טוב. I'm fine too. גם שלומי טוב. I'm fine too. When you say גם in the beginning of the sentence, it's the same as saying in English too, but in the end of the sentence. So in Hebrew you would say it first. גם שלומי טוב. אני ישנוני. I'm sleepy. אני ישנוני. I'm sleepy. I think nowadays it's like a very common thing to say, like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sleepy. When do you guys actually like wake up? I only wake up after I have a cup of coffee and then maybe another hour. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. So if you're ill, usually yes, ill or having a headache, you would say that you feel bad. It's not so much as like an emotional thing, I'm hurting, I'm sad. It's like, I feel bad, I'm ill. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. When you're really doing well, like you're really happy, it's like, I'm great. מצוין. איך הולך איתך? How have you been? איך הולך איתך? How have you been? So since in Hebrew we don't have as much tenses as English, and we don't have like all of the progressive tenses, it's just past, present, and future. When we try to ask like, oh, how have you been during the last few days? How have you been during the last few weeks? So we would say, איך הולך איתך? How are things going for you? Pretty much that's the literal translation. מה נשמע? What's up? מה נשמע? What's up? So this is like the number one most common expression in Israel when you ask people how they're doing, and it's very friendly and casual. Like when you say מה נשמע, it's just like saying what's up. And the literal translation, it's like saying, what is heard? Like, what do you have to tell me that is new? Please do. Please tell me. So that's it. That's מה נשמע.
First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
גבר ואישה מנהלים שיחה. בן כמה הגבר? יום ההולדת שלך מתקרב.
כן, הוא יוצא מחרתיים.
בן כמה תהיה?
אהיה בן 60.
מזל טוב. בוא נחגוג.
תודה רבה. אני מודה לך מאוד.
בן כמה הגבר? גבר ואישה מנהלים שיחה. בן כמה הגבר? יום ההולדת שלך מתקרב.
כן, הוא יוצא מחרתיים.
בן כמה תהיה?
אהיה בן 60.
מזל טוב. בוא נחגוג.
תודה רבה. אני מודה לך מאוד.
First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end. Are you ready?
גבר ואישה מדברים. מי חי עם הגבר?
למה שלא תבואי אליי מתישהו בקרוב?
תודה, אבל אני מרגישה קצת לחוצה. הייתי רוצה לשמוע קצת על המשפחה שלך לפני שאני פוגשת אותם.
בטח. אבא שלי הוא עובד משרד, והתחביב שלו הוא דייג. אמא שלי היא עקרת בית, והיא טובה בבישול.
יש לך אחים או אחיות?
כן, יש לי אחות גדולה ואח צעיר. אחותי נשואה וגרה בחול, אחי הוא תלמיד תיכון.
יש לך משפחה נחמדה. אני אשמח לפגוש ולדבר איתם. מי חי עם הגבר? גבר ואישה מדברים. מי חי עם הגבר?
למה שלא תבואי אליי מתישהו בקרוב?
תודה. אבל אני מרגישה קצת לחוצה. הייתי רוצה לשמוע קצת על המשפחה שלך לפני שאני פוגשת אותם.
בטח. אבא שלי הוא עובד משרד, והתחביב שלו הוא דייג. אמא שלי היא עקרת בית, והיא טובה בבישול.
יש לך אחים או אחיות?
כן, יש לי אחות גדולה ואח צעיר. אחותי נשואה וגרה בחו"ל, אחי הוא תלמיד תיכון.
יש לך משפחה נחמדה. אני אשמח לפגוש ולדבר איתם.